South coming up from Kentucky. Undercovered chassis car for Mr. Mike. He's got the big motor, 655 cubic inches. A little bit of laughing gas helping him out. 651 to dial there. Absolutely incredible competition. Top dragster category. With the boys and the girls, the men and the ladies. The gents and the gals can provide here in top dragster competition. Christina right, Mike on the left. Round number one of top dragster. Getting ready to kick off. Comp Eliminator needs you to lanes now, please. Competition Eliminator. Leading you to the staging lanes. Pretty much dead even out of the gate. Christina able to track him down. 626 on a 624. Mike having some problems. 682 on his 651. Only 205 miles per hour. Just not able to step up and run the number down at the other end of the racetrack. Here comes Al Peeblers. Pro Charged Entry, the Illinois base runner there on the left-hand side, and Mikey, Mr. Coughlin, over on the right-hand side with another Pro Charged car. Mike, your number 3 qualifier. People are out of the number 18 spot. And again, Comp Eliminator needs you lanes, please. Competition Eliminator. Need you to the staging lanes, please. Comp to the lanes. Come on down. Coughlin qualified at a 6:01. Ran a 5:99 in qualifying, but since 6 flat is as quick as you can go, that run got tossed. Al Peeblers, 6:33 in qualifying. He's dialed it down a couple of ticks. A little bit better air this morning. Coughlin's Jegs machine here on the right-hand side runs 6:08 at 197. Peebler is 6:34 at 213 miles an hour. Coughlin's car, no chute coming out of it, but looks like Mike's going to be able to make the bend down there at the other end. He comes up 21 thousandths of a second short down at the other end of the racetrack. He had the better light. 6:08 only. 197 miles an hour after he qualified at 227. His day comes up short. Craig Sullivan, runner up next, the American chassis machine. Ford combination. Over there on the left-hand side, the CoglinCars.com lane. And Jay Brown at Toulouse' Hot Rod out of Lisbon, Ohio. They have had trouble. They have struggled. Quickest lap has been a 10-second run. 10:67, 11:37, and a 15:42. Not exactly what you call stellar numbers in the annals of top dragsterdom. But that car's been quick. They're dialed in 650. See if they've got things figured out. Right now, they have to be the great unknown in the opening round of Top Dragster. Craig Sullivan has to be on his game because you have absolutely no idea what's going to occur in the lane next to you. And still with problems. Sullivan steps out at the other end, 6:58 at 175. And at Toulouse, Jay Brown. They'll take that one back to the drawing board. See them next weekend in Indiana, and hopefully they will have it running much more better. So Sullivan advances. Brown and Toulouse do not. Marty Cheeseman and Lynn Ellison rolling in next. Talking about the points standings. moments ago. Lynn, obviously in the thick of things. It's at number 4 in the points chase. About 4 rounds of eliminations behind JB, but JB's been to one more race than what Lynn has. Marty Cheeseman, not in the top 10. Like to get on a hot streak here in the last half of the year. See what he can do here this weekend, Indy the next weekend. Obviously Bowling Green a couple of weeks after that to close out the Division III championship chase. Comp Eliminator needs you lanes, please. Comp to the lanes. Marty on a 6 flat dial. Ellison on a 627 over there on the left-hand side. There's out of New Albany. Spencer Chassis Machine qualified at a 601. Trying to chase down Ellison. Not going to do her. 629 on the 27 by Lynn. 604 on the 6 flat by Marty. 24 thousandths of a second difference between the two of them. And Ellison picks up the opening round shot, the Cheeseman gang. Hopefully we'll see them next weekend over in Indiana. Oh yeah, that's right. St. Louis, forgot that, yes. So Ellison gets the round win. Cheeseman's day is done. Here comes daughter Madison Ellison. The Women Rock Cancer Research Machine taking on Kathy Fisher. Madison number 8 in the points chase. Kathy coming down from Lima, coming off a win over on the PDRA circuit just a couple of weeks ago. The American Race Car. Ohio Crankshaft, Morley Exhaust Machine. And the cap start going to go to Madison. Kathy out of the gate alongside the women duking it out. Top end, wind light going to go to Madison. 34 on a 30, 09 on the 02 by Kathy at the other end of the racetrack. Kathy, though, off pace at 190 miles an hour. Madison keeping it foot planted all the way to the finish line. 213 for speed and able to pick up the win by 35 thousandths of a second. And thank you, Warren, for reminding me about the St. Louis race in October. I done forgot about that one. Jimmy Prevost and Brian Keller. As we roll in next, our t'other pair. Top Dragster's Machine. Prevost out of the number 17 spot. Brian Keller's hot rod. The centerless grinding solutions. Spitzer chassis car over here on the right-hand lane. Another low 6-0 dial, and so far the cars down in these 6-0s have not been prevalent in round wins. Kathy Fisher out, Mike Coughlin out, Marty Cheeseman out. Brian Keller says, wait a minute, don't count me out just yet. Prevost says, nope, go ahead and do it. See what happens with Brian, another one of our 6-0 qualifiers and another one of our 6-0 qualifiers. Goes home. 597 by Keller. 630 by Prevost, both drivers running under. Prevost just a little bit closer. But the final numbers down at the other end of the racetrack, and Jim gets the win. So Marty Cheeseman, number 1, gone. Number 2, Brian Keller, gone. Number 3, Mike Coughlin, gone. Number 4, Kathy Fisher, gone. Whew. That's a pretty rough road right there. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4 qualifiers. All out in the opening round. Karma Hopper and Ed Dudley. We aren't even finished with the opening round yet. And as I said yesterday, and as I will continue to say, all you have to do is qualify to win one of these things. because you can win from that number 32 spot just as well as you can from the number 1 spot. Sometimes I think winning from number 32 might be just a touch easier. Dudley on the right out of Indiana. Karma Hopper on the left. Kentucky-based machine. Green lights a pair again. Away we go. This is going to be a good race. Finish line, give it to Dudley. 7:05 at 152. 6:46 by Karma on the 6:48 dial. Dudley well off the pace on that 7:05 lap. Karma getting down to the other end of the racetrack and taking a whole lot of finish line stripe. Scotty Hessler, Tim Papp rolling in next. Scott Hessler's right. Tim Papp on the left. Nitrous Machines up there. Getting ready to converse the quarter mile. Hessler out of Columbus, the hometown runner. Over here on the right-hand side. Comp Eliminator, if you're not in the lanes, you're late. Competition Eliminator. Need you to the staging lanes, please. Top Sportsman, get them ready. You're going to be coming shortly. Top Sportsman, get them ready. We're going to be knocking on your door. Papp on a 6:24, Hessler on a 7:56. Hessler off and running. Here comes Timmy. Here comes Timmy. Timmy got him. 6:26, 200 miles an hour, 7:60 by Scott. 172. So Papp gets the win. 26 on a 24. They're pretty much dead even out of the gate. 1,000th of a second separation between them. On starting line reaction time. Red Fridge coming up on the right-hand side. The runner out at Columbus, the long wheelbase Spitzer machine. The blown Oldsmobile combination. 6:17 by Red. Curtis on a 6:15. Curtis, who qualified at an 84, a 55, and a 45. Thinks they've got her dialed in, dialed down, and ready to go. Looks like Greg Curtis might be correct. Curtis goes through 6:27 at 167. Picks up the win off the throttle by 0.03 of a second. Fritz goes through 6:29. Greg able to grab a little bit better starting line reaction time. Greg able to grab a little bit better finish line stripe. It's Tony Elrod. Tony rolls into the event, number 10 in the points chase. Ready to take on Tom Elliott. Thomas over here on the right-hand side, the Artisan machine out of Kentucky. Number 8 qualifier for Elliott. Top Sportsman needs you to the lanes now, please. I told you to get them ready. Top Sportsman needs you to the staging lanes, please. Elrod up on the left. 650 to dial for the S&W chassis Sunoco car. Elliott on the right. Got the blown Mopar combination. Well, you can see the heat just emanating out of those headers, can't you? Red light start by Elliott. Perfect light by Tony Elrod. 686 after going zip, 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 0. Perfect, dead on. The reaction timer, 686 After the red light start by Elliott, he runs a 6:12 on his 6:10 dial. 10 foul, too quick out of the gate was Elliott. And Elrod good for the W. Luke Bogacki coming up, the K&N Felters. American Race Cars. Hot rod for the runner out of Illinois. Taking on Tim Antonora. Tim had problems yesterday in the final qualifying session. Did not get to make a run down the racetrack. 6:35 and a 6:26 in qualifying. Got her dialed down to a 6:19. See how well he's got it set up and dialed in. Bogacki on a 7:44. Under the number 28 qualifying spot. Again, Top Sportsman. Need you to the lanes, please. Luke on the left, going to go first. Antonora on the right. RPM's up. Out of the gate he goes. Antonora trying to track him down, closing in. Top end, not going to get him. 6:30 on the 6:19. Late shoot by Timmy. Bogacki gets the win. 48 on the 44. Down at the other end of the racetrack. Tim trying to track him down. Flying right on by. 50 miles an hour quicker. 214 to 164 by Cool Hand Luke and Danny Waddle. And he coming in the number 9 spot, rolling in on the points chase this weekend. And Angry Tom Fisher, 72 years young, the runner out of the RacingRVs.com stable. Tom qualified at a 6:47, got her dialed down to a 6:35. Waddle 6:16 after a 6:20 best in qualifying. Tom's going to go first. 6:35 dial here on the right-hand side. Dead even out of the gate. 64 by Tom, 28 by Danny. Waddle able to get to the finish line in front of Tom Fisher's machine. Tom's car getting just a little bit out of the groove and over to the left-hand side of the lane. So Danny Waddle moves on. Tom's day is done. Tom Martino now taking on Dan Norris. Martino rolled into this race. Number 3 in the points chase. Those the JB and Zach aren't here this weekend. He will have an opportunity to make some hay while the sun's shining. Well, somewhere. Martino on a 6:33 dial. Norris on a 6:14. Again, Top Sportsman needs you to lanes, please. Top Sportsman to the lanes. Comp Eliminator paired up and ready to go. Top Sportsman need to get you paired up now for round number 1 of eliminations. Top Sportsman needs you to the staging lanes, please. Tommy's in, Danny's in. They're green a pair. Norris over on the left trying to send the man number 3 in points home. Not going to do it. Dead on 4 by Tom Martino. 6:33.4 on a 6:33. Dan Norris skies to a 6:43 at only 169 miles an hour. And Martino picks up the round win and gets to move on. Joe Fisher, the birthday boy yesterday, trying to see if he can give himself a birthday present today with a Wally, qualified at a 6:09. Your number 7 qualifier, taking on Frank Carpinelli's JD Byrider. Undercover chassis, pro-charged car over there on the left-hand side for the runner out of Canton. Joe coming out of Clayton, the RacingRVs.com machine. Dan Norris, Kathy Fisher, Mike Coughlin, Alan O'Brien, Brian Keller, Marty Cheeseman, all qualifying, along with Joe in that 6-0 range. Hasn't worked out so well so far. See what Joe can do. RacingRVs.com entry. Ruh-roh. Fisher gets the win. Carpinelli was 003 out of the gate. Joe stayed with it, goes 6:13 on a 6:12 dial. Carpinelli runs a 6:31 at 222, his best run of the weekend by almost a tenth. But Carpinelli's machine picked it up at the wrong time and breaks out down at the other end of the racetrack, taking a tenth of a second plus. At the finish line stripe, Frank's got to be going, what's the guy got to do? 31 on a 44 dial. His best run in qualifying was a 43. So he picks up a 10th plus here in the opening round of eliminations. And the JD Byrider car is gone. RacingRVs.com, Joe Fisher and Patty. Moving on to round number 2. 13 on a 12. That's good for the W. Looks like Bob Mandel's going to get a competition buy run as our other 6-0 qualifier. Alan O'Brien with that twin turbocharged Rambler. Not going to be able to answer the bell here for round number 1. And boy, I hate to see that. That is just a quick car. 481 cubic inches of Rambler power with twin turbochargers on it. But for Bob Mandel, he says, I don't care. Moving into round number 2 with the Profab chassis shop car. Young Bob the third, over here on the right-hand side. Nice leave, hiked the front end up, carried it out, and runs 18 on the tree and dead on 5. Bob Mandel, a 23 thousandths package on that run. And he did it as on a single. And the word comes that Mother Nature's playing Misty for me again. So with Mother Nature